Hi everyone, my name is Ricky, and on this video I'd like to talk about insulin resistance, and this is the main cause of so many diseases, whether it's prediabetes, diabetes type 2, Alzheimer's, dementia, forgetting things, certain type of cancer, PCOS on women, infertility in men, erectile dysfunction, and there are so many other health issues, or they call it non-communicable disease that are not spread to other people. And this is because of lifestyle, because of high carb. And I can tell you the goal of this channel is to help men. And unfortunately, so many men, they're addicted to so many things, whether it's gambling, porn, and whatever. And this is one of them. Addiction to high carb, sugar. Okay, so let's get into it. What is insulin resistant? I will first cover what is everything about insulin resistant, and also I'll give you the answer, how I've been helping so many of my clients overcome insulin resistance or reverse their insulin resistance. Okay, insulin resistance is actually when the body is no longer sensitive to insulin, the hormone, and insulin is responsible to convert sugar, carbohydrate into energy. But because you're getting too much carb and the body is no longer able to respond to insulin, so it's become resistance to insulin. The insulin is no longer converting the carbohydrate, the sugar, into energy. It just stays in your blood. So your blood glucose stay high and your body cannot metabolize carb as efficient as it used to be. And the same with the brain. When you have, the brain is very energy hungry. When you have a lot of carb and they're not getting converted into energy, your brain cannot perform 100%. And this is why they call it diabetes type 3. The Alzheimer's. Okay, and this is some serious stuff. If you have insulin resistance, you need to start reversing it. Okay, at the root cause by changing the diet and exercise. Be active. Don't rely only on medication. I know a lot of people relying on medication, they get other disease. They're taking metformin, all this doctor's medicine. Guess what? Their blood glucose might look better, but next thing they got cardiovascular problem. They have all sorts of issues, health issues, if they don't tackle at the root cause. Okay, what are the signs? Well, the clear sign, if you check your HbA1c, which is hemoglobin A1c, this is your average blood glucose the past 3 months. If it is over 6%, it's a sign of prediabetes, and if it is over 8% or something, this is already diabetes type 2. Okay, and also fasting glucose can tell you. If your fasting glucose is over 100 or over 120, this is definitely a sign of diabetes type 2. Okay, even over 100, around 110, 105, this is already a sign of prediabetes. And this happens over the years. A lot of people who eat a lot of carb for 1 day, 2 days, a week, it's not going to cause you insulin resistance. But if you're eating high carb year in, year out for so many years, this will eventually become prediabetes and then diabetes type 2. Okay, so again, I will show you the picture what diseases are caused by insulin resistance. There are so many. And why is it hard to break for many people? Well, insulin resistance, sugar, is an addiction that is hard to break, because what happens when your blood glucose spikes, right, and then it drops, it makes you feel hungry. And when you have this afternoon crash and you're feeling hungry, you will crave for sugary food. So what happens is that you're in this roller coaster, a never-ending roller coaster, where you feel like, I'm hungry. You eat a lot of sugar, a lot of carb, and then you get your blood glucose high, and then your blood glucose crash. And your blood glucose crash, you want more of sugar to make you feel better. And it's just a never-ending cycle if you don't break it. Okay. So what's the answer? Here's the answer. The answer first is diet. Diet is the biggest piece, right? You need a high protein, high fiber, low carb. It doesn't have to be carnivore, it doesn't have to be keto. You can still eat, for example, like rice, potato, in a decent amount. If you just, aim for 100 grams of carb a day, and then get like high protein, ideally 1.5 of your body weight in gram. So if you're 75, try to aim at least like 100 grams of protein, right? 100 grams of protein you can get from about 350 grams of chicken breast. Okay, depending on what you get. So again, just a low carb diet, having a lot of mainly just whole food, chicken, meat, seafood, prawn, fish, okay, and plus fiber, a lot of veggies. You can eat as much, if you have insulin resistance, I can tell you, you can eat as much protein as you want. You can eat as much fiber, vegetable as much as you want, and a bit of carb. 100 grams of carb. 100 grams of carb, you can get like, 200 grams of rice still in a day. You still decent, like, you don't have to suffer. That's a sustainable diet. Okay, the problem is that most people, they're eating a high carb, high oily, high oil, high fat, high carb, and this is the main cause of insulin resistance and also the main cause of obesity and being overweight. Okay, and this is why I mentioned here as well, fat loss is the key here. More than 70% of people who are diabetic, they are overweight. So the goal is actually to lose weight, and to lose weight, again, coming back to high protein, high fiber diet and low carb diet. Okay, and if you are on doctor medication, make sure you take CGM or prick test. Regularly check your blood glucose level while you're changing your diet. Why? Because it's easy for you to actually drop your blood glucose too low, and too low is bad. It's hypoglycemia. It can cause you to even faint, right? So make sure you monitor your blood glucose. And most of my clients who succeeded in overcoming their insulin resistance, they wear a continuous glucose monitor so they can see the pattern. And the continuous glucose monitor teach you what certain food impact on your blood glucose. So if you know that, oh, this certain food is actually causing a glucose spike, you will try to avoid that next time, and you will create a pattern, a better eating pattern when you use CGM. Okay, so I highly suggest get a CGM. In Australia it costs about $100. In some country maybe more, but yeah, it's worth it. It can last for about 2 weeks. And the next one is sleep. Sleep is the foundation of health. If you're not getting enough sleep, you're not sleeping in the dark, make sure you turn off all your light. It's been proven many people who have insulin resistance, they sleep in the light. Okay, sleep in the dark, and make sure you aim at least 6 hours every night. A good night's sleep will help you to stay full the next day. And if you have a bad sleep, I can tell you, you will feel hungry the next day. You will crave for sugary food. So make sure you get your sleep right. The next one, you can also take apple cider vinegar. This is a big one. Apple cider vinegar has so many health benefits, and one of them is actually to keep your blood glucose stable. You can check this lady called Glucose Goddess. She's doing an experiment, like if you take apple cider vinegar before your carb, it will flatten your blood glucose so much better. Okay, you can avoid any glucose spike just by taking apple cider vinegar before each meal, especially a meal that consists of carbohydrate. Okay. Next one, supplement. Well, I'm against medication, so if you can get off it, you need to get off it, and of course slowly. Yeah, I'm not asking anyone to just quit medication suddenly. This is dangerous because your blood glucose will stay high. But supplements such as berberine, this can replace your metformin. So mostly my client who take, like, I can't remember the dose, they normally take about 500 milligram or 50 milligram, I forgot. But basically you need berberine to help you stay full, because it actually keeps your blood glucose more stable. Okay, have a look. A supplement called berberine, and there's another supplement, I'll name it on the description. Exercise. You need to focus on weight training. Why? The more muscle you got in your body, the more cell that can help you absorb your excess of glucose in the blood. Okay, this is key. Weight training, building muscle. The more muscle you have, the more room in your body to be able to absorb this excess glucose. Okay, and also simple thing, like for example, doing a body squat, maybe 20 repetitions if you can, after each meal. This will help your blood glucose as well. Okay, so before, take apple cider vinegar. Before meal, after meal, take a walk or do a body squat. Okay. And next one, I want to talk about stopping medication or reducing your medication. Most of my clients who got off medication 100%, they reduce their medication slowly. So as they improve their diet, they don't need as much medication anymore. So they actually just reduce slowly their medication as they go. Okay, so these are the key to reversing your insulin resistance. Most of my clients, within 3 months, they could bring their HbA1c from 11% to normal, to 5.7% in 3 months. If you do it right, you don't even need to join the gym. One of my clients, he's just doing exercise at home, and he managed to reverse his insulin resistance just mainly through diet, because diet is the big piece here. Diet is about 70% of the result. If you don't get the diet right, you can work out as much as you like, you're not gonna get there. Okay, diet is the big piece. You can even reverse insulin resistance without going to the gym, just exercising at home, and that is enough. Just body squat, push up, just be active every day, taking 5 to 10,000 steps at least a day. That will help in losing weight and reversing your insulin resistance. So yeah, that's all about insulin resistance. I hope this video has been something useful. If you're serious about reversing your insulin resistance, you can join my coaching to get your body go and get your blood glucose back to normal. This is key to men's sexual health. You don't have good cardiovascular health, you're not in the right body fat level, you cannot feel 100% sexually, physically, mentally, I'm telling you. Okay, so if you're interested in my private coaching, you can book a call. Check the website indoorfitnessfamily.com or rickydanmohan.com. Okay, I hope this video has been something useful, and until next time.